Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel Code for Tech Solutions. Today in this video we are going to cover a new topic, like we are going to see how we can create a custom views in Python Django application. So before we go ahead, so let us understand what are the custom views and when we can use them. Like custom views allow us to add custom logic, and it will help us to change the view behavior by overriding the existing methods in viewset, or we can add altogether new custom methods in the existing application. So when we can go for these custom views, like whenever we need uh, more control on view details, and whenever we need some special logic that doesn't fit into the default view, so that time we can go for custom views. Like custom views allows us to write some custom actions uh, along with some existing methods, and that time we will have a complete custom view with which we can control over the view details. Now let us see how we can implement the custom views. So first of all, we need to install the dependencies. We can use this command pip install, and we need to install Django. Django is a framework for web development in Python, and Django Rest Framework. So Django Rest Framework is a web framework which will help us to build and create REST APIs in Python web development. So these two dependencies we need to install. Pip, it's a package manager in Python. Now we can cross verify the dependencies, whether those are installed or not. We can see, and this is Django and Django Rest Framework, seems good. Now next thing, like we can create a Django project, and next we can create an application. So to create a Django project, we can use this command, like Django admin and start project, and we can give our project name. So we can say it's a custom project. Now we can go to the project folder. Here we can see in on the left pane, like it has created custom all the default files and folders along with the manage.py, and this is our custom project. Now let us create an application inside this. We can use command python manage.py, and here we can use command start app, and here we can give our application name. It's an API. So application name you can give anything. Now we can see here it has created the API application. Now inside this, like we are going to keep all our REST APIs inside this API application. Fine. Now next thing, like we need to go to the settings.xml, which is inside project folder. Here we can go to the installed apps, and here we can add the dependencies, like we need REST framework, and next we need to include API, which is an application of ours. Now here, if you go down, you can see it is using the default SQLite database, which is by default pre-configured with the application. Now we can save the changes. Now here, next thing, like we can create a model part. This is our inside application API. We have these models. Now here we can create one class with name, like let's say client, and here we can use models dot model, and here we can use properties. What all properties we are going to use, like models dot char field, and here we can use max length, let's say 100. Next we can add email, and next we can add address. Now here we can use some string interpretation for this. and we can call self dot name return. You can save it. So we are done with our model creation. So we have created a model and we have used this model import, and we are using this model class from these models. Okay, next thing what we can do, like we can create one serializer inside this application. Serializers, so why we need the serializer? To convert our model instance into the JSON format, we need this serializer. Now let us do that. Now we can import from Rest Framework, and here is the serializer. From model we can import our model, which is the name like client, and we can create one serializer class. Let's say client serializer, and we can use model serializer. Next we can use class meta, and here we can use like a model name, and here we can use our model as a client. Next, what all fields we are going to serialize, and for now we can say all fields. Seems good, and we can save it. So we are done with our serializer. So we have created serializer successfully. Now let us migrate, use the migration command so that we can create a database schema. So we can use this command python manage.py, and first of all we need to save all these things, so that model and serializers what we have created, and we can use this migration command make migrations. It will create the database file, prepare the database files for creating the database schema. So we can see this file has created db.sqlite3. Next thing, like we can actually migrate to create a database schema. So this is the command to migrate. Seems good. Now it has migrated successfully. Now next thing, like we need to create a view. So let us see how we can create. This is the actual part on which like we are going to focus more on. Like we need to first import from our REST framework, and we are going to use viewsets. We can use API view and some other generic APIs or viewsets. So we have multiple options we can use. Right now, today in this video, we are going to use viewset. Next, we can import from models, and our model name is client. Next, like serializers, we can import our serializer, which is client serializer. Now here we can create our class, like we can say it's a client viewset, and here we can use viewsets dot model viewset. Next we can use query set, and here we can use our model name dot objects dot all. Next serializer class we can use, and this is client serializer class. Fine. Now this is the about the creating the client view set. Now we are going to actually add some custom logic inside this. So how we can add that? So we need to use action. So we need to use action for that. So let us see how we can use that. First we can use action, and inside this we can use detail as a false, and methods as a, for methods we can use get method. Fine. Now here we can use one method, like we can say count underscore clients, and here we can use self and request. We can use client count, or we can use our class client dot objects, and we can call count method on this. Basically this is like a function which will return the client count. Okay, so finally we are going to return the response, in which we are going to wrap our book count, client count, and here we can add into the quotes, and here we can use client count, assign it. Here we need to add import for this one. Now let us add import for action from Rest Framework dot decorators, and we can import action. Next, from Rest Framework dot response, we can import a response. That's it. Now what we have done, like we have created one client view set, and this is the query set, and this is the serializer class, and here we have added actual our custom logic. Likewise you can add custom logic if you need. You can say it's a custom. Likewise you can add many number of actions which will be a custom logic as per your requirement. Now next thing what we can do, like next we need to configure the URL. So first of all we can save it. Next, inside this API we need to create one URL Python file, and here we can add our Django URLs, and we can import path, and we need to add include as well. And from Rest Framework we can use routers, and we can import default router. We can import from views as well, and our view name is client view set. Now here we can use, like we need to wire up our view set with our default router. For that we need to create one router, and for this, like we need to use, like we can use default router. Next we need to actually register our view set with this router. We can call register method, and here we can use for registration. We can use here, we can add our endpoint, it's let's say clients, and here we can add our view set, which is client view set. That's it. Next thing, like we can add URL patterns, and here inside array we can add path, and here we can mention like for blank path we can add include, and we can use router dot URLs. That's it, we can save it. So we are done with our API application URL configuration part. What we have done, we have registered our view set with the router, and this is the logic for registering, and this is the path for which we are going to this router will take care of the path configuration. It will do it automatically for us. Okay, next thing, like we need to create URLs, we need to configure the URLs in projects as well. So this is the project URL. Now here we need to add our application URLs, like let's say here we can use API, and here we need to include our routers application URLs, so with name api.urls. That's it, and here we need to add include. Fine, we can save it. We are done with our URL configuration, and with this we are done with all our coding. Now next part is like we need to see, we need to go test our REST APIs. So let us do that now. First of all, we can create one super user. Before that, we can use python manage.py, and we can use create super user. Here we can give some name for username. Email, you can give some email. I will keep that blank. You can mention some password, and you can re-enter the password. And for now we are going to bypass this validation just to create the super user. Yes, we can see super user created successfully. Now next thing what we can do, like we can run our application. So we can use this command python manage.py, and we can use run server command, which will run our application in development server. So we can see it has started the development server, and this is the host name and port name. Now for this, like we are using API endpoint API slash, and we need to check the path in our URLs, router URLs. Now let us do that. Here we can use our APIs, and here we can see what endpoint we have registered. It's a clients, the same we can use clients. Seems good. This is the Django Rest Framework user interface. We can see now, right now it is showing the empty list because we have not added any record. Now let us add some record, like let's say searching email, we can add something searching gmail.com, and address we can say Pune. Let us click on post button. We can see one record is successfully added with ID 1. Now similar way we can create one more record, let's say Kevin, and here we can add Gmail for Kevin, and here we can say New York. Seems good. Now if you go back to the client list, it will show the two records we have added successfully. Let us add one more record, like Robert. We can add the Gmail ID for that, and we can use like city or address at London. Seems good. We have three records successfully added. Now, this is about getting fetching the list and adding a record client. Now, what if we want to retrieve a particular client? Let's say if we want to retrieve third record, you can see third client it is showing. We have just passed a number third ID as a 3, and it is showing the third record specific. Now, if you want to modify this record, like this is pre-populated with the third record. Now, instead of Robert, if you want to use like mm, let's say Peter, and here we can use Moscow. We can use like let's say Paris. Okay, now we can see the record is successfully modified. Okay, so here we can see if we check the list, you can see the third record is successfully modified. Similar way, if you want to delete any record, like we can mm, page the record first, like this is the third record, and if you want to delete this, we can click on this delete button. Once we click on delete on this confirmation pop-up, the record will get deleted. Now if we go back once again on the list, now it is showing two records because the third record we have successfully deleted. So this is all about creating the custom views. I hope you must have enjoyed this. Please do not forget to like, subscribe and share. Thank you so much for watching this.